Hello students, good afternoon. Hope all of you fine and watching your online classes very well. Okay, so myself B. Radha Devi working as a physical science teacher at KGBV Kallur. So in the previous class we discussed about the concept of laws of motion from the class 9th. In that class, we discussed mainly the Newton's first law of motion by using some examples and experiments. Okay, students. So, let us recapitulate the previous class points. So, recapitulation. So, in the earlier class, means in the previous class, we discussed about the experiments to show the object in motion at different surfaces. Means we have used some batteries, coins and created an inclined plane to explain the motion, how they are moving and why they are moving. Okay students? Okay. We also discussed about the Aristotle and Galileo Galilei arguments to explain the concept of motion. We had also done some experiments which was done by Galileo to understand the concept of motion at different angles. Based on the ideas of Galileo and Aristotle, the Newton has discovered some laws of motion with simple experiments. So with that we are also done some experiments to explain about the concept of Newton's first law of motion, and we are also taken some examples to understand the concept. We are also discussed about the concept of inertia with examples which is related to Newton's first law of motion. So these are the points we are discussed in the earlier class. Now we are going to discuss about the remaining two laws of motion, that are second law and the third law of motion. So today our first topic is Newton's second law of motion. Okay students, so to understand the Newton's second law of motion clearly and easily, first of all we had to got an idea about the concept of momentum. So watch this video very carefully students. Okay, so if you watch this video, today topic is what is momentum. So here a boy is standing on the road between the two hill stations and two vehicles, which one bicycle and the large truck is coming nearer to him. Now I am asking question to you. The boy which is choose to stop the vehicle, which one chooses the boy to stop the motion? Probably the answer is bicycle. Because why? Because see, bicycle has less momentum. Less momentum is nothing but which has less mass and less speed comparing to truck. Truck has a more mass and it is coming with very speed. So the boy can't stop the truck comparing to bicycle. Okay students? Okay, so momentum is nothing but mass in motion. So the object which carries mass and moving with some velocity is nothing but momentum. Okay, students. So why the boy has not chosen truck means the truck has very massive, means so much of weight is there, and also large speed is there. Large speed means so much of velocity is with so much of velocity is there to that object. So the boy has chosen bicycle to stop the motion. Okay, students. So overall this what we are understand that, so momentum is a quantity of motion in a body and it depends on its mass and velocity. So what is the quantity of motion in a body means how much of mass is there and how much of velocity is there to that body which is in motion. Okay, students. So simply we can define the momentum of a body as a product of its mass and velocity. Product of its mass and velocity. Product means multiplication. Very good. Product means multiplication. So we can define the momentum by using the letter P. Okay, students. Okay, so simply we can write momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Already we have discussed that product of mass and velocity. Product means multiplication. So momentum is equal to mass into velocity, or we can simply write with the symbols, that is momentum is denoted by the letter P, as we all know, is equal to mass referred as m into velocity is referred as v. Okay, students, let us discuss one more point. So momentum is a directly proportional to mass. So momentum is directly proportional to mass. So let me clarify with one example. Okay, students. So if a cricket ball and a tennis ball move with same velocity. So here two balls are there and one is cricket ball and one more is tennis ball. Okay, so now I am asking question to you. Momentum of a cricket ball is more. Why? Momentum of a cricket ball is more. Why? Why? Because its mass is larger than that of tennis ball. You have an idea about the cricket ball and a tennis ball. Is it, students? Yes. So cricket ball is more weight comparing to tennis ball. So momentum of a cricket ball is more because its mass is larger. So very mass is there to that ball. So definitely the speed also very fast is there. Very good. So fast is there comparing to tennis ball. So momentum is directly proportional to mass. If more mass is there, then more velocity is also applying to that body. Okay, students. Okay, now discuss one more point, that is momentum. Momentum is directly proportional to velocity also. Not only the mass, to the velocity also it is directly proportional. So let me clarify with one example. If two cricket balls, here we are taking two cricket balls, okay, same cricket balls moves with different velocities. Different velocities means we are applying small force to one cricket ball and more force to the another cricket ball. Okay, then the momentum of the ball with greater velocity possess more momentum. Means if which one we are applying more force, that will show more velocity. Okay, means more means greater velocity, fast moving. It moves very fastly comparing to the ball which will applying smaller force, lesser force. Okay, so if great velocity is there, great momentum is also there. Okay, students. Okay, so momentum is a vector quantity because why? Because it has the direction also. So it is a vector, means velocity is there. So velocity is a vector quantity, so that momentum is also a vector quantity. Okay, students. Okay, now we can use the unit for momentum is 1 kg meter per second or kg meter second power minus 1. We can write the SI unit of momentum like this: 1 kg meter per second, or kg ms means meter second power minus 1. Okay, students. Okay, then if a body is rest, if one body is there, it is at rest, then its velocity also rest, means its velocity is also rest, means 0. If velocity is 0, normally momentum is also 0. Okay. Okay, now if you see a karate player is able to break so many tiles. Okay, because he strikes with his hand very fast, producing an extremely large momentum. We can't do this activity because we don't have any practice, but a karate player is able to do because he has done so many practices, and he know how the bricks can be broken by using only one attempt, and he is using so much of force, means nothing but so much of velocity. At that time definitely the all brakes will broken. Okay, students. Okay, now how can we calculate momentum? We have to understand this one. So for this, here I have given some problem. A body of mass 50 kg has moving with velocity 70 meter per second. Calculate the momentum of the body. Here a body is moving with mass, means here a car is moving with mass 50 kg and the velocity is 70 meter per second. Now we have to calculate the momentum of the body. Okay, students. Now already we know the formula momentum, that is P is equal to m into V. So already in the question they are given mass is equal to 50 kg, velocity is equal to 70 meter per second. Okay, students. So by using the formula P is equal to m into V, that is nothing but mv. M means 50 kg into V, how much? 70 meter per second. So by multiplying these values we get momentum, that is 3500 kg meter per second, and this is the momentum value. In this way we can calculate the momentum in a simple way. Okay, students. Okay, now here we are discussing one more topic, that is impulse, which is related to momentum. Okay, so what is impulse? Impulse of a force is a measure of total effect of the force at a particular time. Are you understand? Let me give one example. If you are fallen from a building onto the ground, then what will happen to you? Definitely an injury is happen to your leg or hand at any way. So here at that time the body which is falling onto the ground has some velocity. Suddenly here the body is changing its velocity when it reaches to the ground. So sudden changes are there in that velocity. So at that time, change in movement also is happening. Change in momentum means when it reaches the ground, the body has become zero. So at that time, change in momentum is happening. So impulse is nothing but change in momentum at a particular time. At that time only it is happening. Okay, I'll explain you with one more example. Suppose you are sitting on the chair for nearly 2 hours and your brother came in front of you and ordered you to get up suddenly. At that time, you can't stand suddenly because your body is in rest position. Suddenly, you can't change the motion of the object. So here, change in momentum is not happening suddenly. It will take some time. That is nothing but impulse. Okay, students. So impulse is equal to change in momentum. Okay, so impulse you can written as average force into time. At that particular situation, how much of force is happening to that situation and how much of time is using. It is nothing but average force into time. It is the mathematical formula for impulse. Okay, students. So let me give you some examples. Kicking on the wall at short period of time. Suddenly, if you got anger, at that time you are kicking the wall. So here the change in momentum is happening to your body. Okay. Then hammering the nail into the wall. You are hammering the nail into the wall to hang any photo frame. So at particular time only you are hammering the wall. So here change in momentum has happening to the nail. Okay, students. Okay. Now we will discuss. See here, one picture is there. Here in the trolley, only one box is there. So here normal force is using by him, and acceleration means change in velocity. Okay, so only one box is there, so the person can easily move the box. So if less mass is there, then speed will increases very easily. Okay, so larger the net force, greater the acceleration. Okay, students. Okay, very good. So now observe one more picture. See here in the trolley, more boxes are kept. Means here 5 more boxes are kept into the trolley comparing to first figure. The same person is there, but mass is increased. So at that time, the force which was applying by him was very less. Definitely, then the less acceleration will happen and the speed also decreases. Speed also decreases. So larger the mass, smaller the acceleration will happen. So if more mass is there, then at that time smaller the acceleration will happen when the force is not equal to the mass. Okay, students. Okay, so now we can define the Newton's second law of motion by understanding the concept of momentum and impulse. Okay, so Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of a body, here rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force and takes place in the direction in which the force acts. So let me clarify you one more time. It states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force and takes place in the direction in which the force acts. See here, force which was applying by us, that is directly proportional to change in momentum. Change in momentum, and the rate of change is there, so that we can write by time taken. So force is which was the force we are applying to move to change the object which is in motion, that is directly proportional to change in momentum by time taken. How much of the time is taking to change the momentum. Okay students, so force, we can simply write it as force is directly proportional to mv, means final velocity, minus mu, initial velocity. So when the object is moving from starting to ending point, that is taken as initial velocity and final velocity. This one is discussed by in the previous class only. Okay students. Okay, so here mv means change in momentum in the final velocity minus change in momentum in the initial velocity by time is represented as t. So if you take common m here, so force is directly proportional to m and m is common, so we have written as v minus u by t. But we already know that v minus u by t is equal to a, since by the equation of motion, the first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at. So by this we can calculate the value a is equal to v minus u by t. So here the place of v minus u by t, here we are written as a, that is force is directly proportional to m into a, mass into acceleration. Okay students, so see here, that is to remove the proportionality symbol, we have taken proportionality constant, that is k is equal to f is equal to kma. K means here proportionality constant. Okay, so if you apply a force of 1 Newton to a body of mass 1 kg, produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square on the body, then what will happen to the force? Let me see. That is, see, for F is equal to K into ma. So 1 Newton force is there, that is K into a mass is also 1 kg and acceleration is 1 meter per second. So 1 equal to K into 1 into 1, that is equal to what will happen? 1 is equal to K or K equal to 1. By substituting this value in the equation, we get F is equal to ma. Okay, that is nothing but force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay students, very good. Then we are discussing about the applications of Newton's second law of motion in our daily life, how they are applying into our life. So if you observe these pictures, you can see here here two children are sitting in the car by applying seat belts to him. Okay, and here a cricketer was catching the ball, and one more athletes are doing their jobs. So these are the applications, How they are related? Let me clarify you. So here in the first picture, we are applying Newton's second law while when we are seated in the car and seat belts are arranged to us. Why we are arranged seat belts to us? Because when the car is moving with more velocity, means so much of speed is applying to the car when it is in motion. At that time, if we apply sudden brake or any accident is happening suddenly, then at that time how much of the velocity is applying to the object is also applying to us, because we are seated in the car, we are inside in the car. So definitely we will fall forward. To stop the injuries to us, we wear seat belts. Means here large momentum is happening when we apply brakes to the car. At that time we don't want to get any injury, so that we can wear seat belts. Here Newton's second law is happening. And in the case of cricketer plays, a cricketer player lower his hands along with the ball to catch it. Why? Because the acceleration of the ball get reduces, means the ball is coming with so much of velocity. So if we catch suddenly without any momentum, then maybe the ball hurts the cricketer. To overcome that one, the cricketer hand has to move backward so that the speed will decreases. So here the angle is changing by the cricketer when he is catching the ball, because the ball is coming with more velocity. With more velocity is nothing but change in momentum. More momentum is there. If suddenly he will catch, maybe he may be injured. To overcome that situation, he move his hands lower, means backward, to catch the ball very easily. Okay, so here also two athletes are doing their performances. So why when they are doing their performances, see, if you observe here, a cushioned bed or a sand is arranged. Why a cushioned bed or a sand is arranged? Because to avoid injury when they fall onto the ground. Okay students, so they are moving with so much of velocity, means more velocity is nothing but change in momentum is happening their body. If they fall suddenly onto the ground, definitely they may be injured with seriously. So that to avoid, they arranged cushioned bed or a sand. When they are fallen onto the ground, then at that time the velocity will decreases and they didn't get any injured on their bodies. Okay students, so these are the applications of Newton's second law of motion in our daily life. So, and some more examples are also there in our life. You can compare with the Newton's second law of motion. Okay students, okay, these are the points which were discussed to explain about the Newton's second law of motion. Okay, now let us discuss about the Newton's third law of motion. Okay, for this Newton's third law of motion, see here, already we are done this one in our daily life. So if a balloon is blown and released into the air, at that time definitely the balloon will fall to the ground and the air goes up. Here, if you blown a air into the balloon, means that is action, and the balloon is falling, and the air is going up, means it is reaction. So Newton's third law is nothing but when one object exerts a force on other object, the second object exerts an equal but opposite force on the first object. So let me give one example. If you thrown a ball into the wall, you are throwing a ball onto the wall. So at that time the ball will come back as fast as. Here we are throwing a ball, means action is happening onto the wall. So the wall is now applying the same force but in opposite direction, that is in opposite way. So here when one object exerts a force on the other object, here two objects are there, one is ball and the other is wall. We are throwing a ball onto the wall. So here action is happening and the reaction is the wall again will applying the same force to send the ball in opposite direction. So second object also exerts an equal but opposite direction. Okay, in a simple way we can say that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction is there for every object. Okay students, so here if you observe a picture, what is happening here? Here I have taken two spring balances A and B. Okay, and they are connected together with attaching. See here in between them we are connected together. Fix the spring balance of A. Fix the spring balance of A to an rigid support, means any wall. You have to fix a spring balance of A to a wall. Now if I am applying a force onto the spring balance B, then definitely the spring balance A also moves. Now when I am applying a force by pulling the free end of the spring balance B, both the spring balance shows the same readings. Why? Because the force exerting by the spring balance of B on A, means which was applying the force on spring balance B on A, is equal but in opposite direction to the force exerted by the spring balance of A on B. So if here I am pushing the spring balance of B towards me, so the same force is applying to the A also, because they are connected together. So here here an action is happening onto the B and the reaction is coming from to A. Okay students, so it is the best example to you can do in your homes also if you have spring balances. Okay, see here, and one more small videos are there to can understand easily the Newton's third law of motion. So here this is a Newton's cradle, okay, which will call as Newton cradle. So here I am pulling the first ball towards me and releasing. So definitely what is happening? Here I am releasing one ball. Here I am pulling one ball and the outcoming ball is also one. So here one, for every action there is one same reaction but in opposite direction is happening. See here one more by using two balls here. So by pulling two balls and releasing them very fastly, the two coming balls are also coming. The two coming are coming out. The two balls are coming out when releasing two balls. So when we are pulling two balls and releasing, two balls are coming out. In the case of three balls, if you observe, if you release three balls, then three balls are comes out. So for every action, there is a reaction is there in the same way. So in the case of four balls, so if we pull the four balls are coming out in the same way. Okay students, so in this way for every action there is a reaction is there. If you observe these pictures, here a man is pulling a ball and releasing them in the opposite direction. So and releasing it to the speed. See here one ball is coming out. In the case of two balls also, two balls are coming out. Okay students, in this way for every action there is equal and opposite reaction is there. So if you observe this lab activity in your textbooks, here in the textbook this activity is very important to you. Okay students, so if you pour a water into the test tube, okay, and rubber cork is arranged to that mouth of the test tube. So and a spirit lamp is arranged to the test tube nearer to the bottom of the test tube, and it is used to change the temperature of the water. Now what is happening here? When the temperature of the water it becomes very hot, means the water starts boiling, at that time here we are giving action by the spirit lamp, so there is action is there to the spirit lamp in the water. So then after some time the rubber cork will blows out because the vapors move the rubber cork very fastly. Means here action is happening to the water and reaction is happening to the rubber cork. Okay students, this is the very best lab activity to you to can understand the Newton's third law of motion. If schools are open, we will do the experiment in the school. Don't do it in the houses, okay? Okay. Now, in the case of rockets also, here, when the rockets are moving into the sky, they will exhaust. They will exhaust means they will release so much of fuel in the form of fire. With lot of pressure, then only they will move forward into the sky. So here action is happening in the form of fuels, okay, then reaction is happening when it is moving in forward direction. Okay students, So in the case of rockets also, it is applying the Newton's third law of motion. Okay, let me discuss one more concept which is related to Newton's laws of motion. Okay, so here law of conservation of momentum. So what is law of conservation of momentum? So here conservation means no change. Already we know the point, mass is neither created nor destroyed. Mass is neither created nor destroyed. So here when two or more bodies upon one another, means two bodies which are in one by one, means one upon other, then their total momentum remains constant. Constant is nothing but no change. Conservation is also nothing but no change. Constant provided no external forces acting. See, let me give a picture to explain, to understand this one. So momentum is neither created nor destroyed, means mass is neither created nor destroyed. So if you observe this picture here, two trucks are there. Okay, they are collide with each other. So here no external force is acting there. The force which was applying to that vehicles also happening for that collision. No more external force is happening there. Okay students, so law of conservation of momentum is nothing but momentum does not change if the situation happens very differently. So momentum does not change, or the momentum remains constant over a time. No external force acts on this conservation of momentum. Okay friends, so we can apply this law for collisions between two vehicles, or this can also applicable for any collisions. For any means, so much of situations are happening into our daily life. So if collision is happening, then their law of conservation of momentum is also applying. Okay, so here momentum is neither created nor destroyed, means no external force is using for happening collision. So let me discuss about the principle of conservation of linear momentum. See here, it states that the sum of momentum of two objects before collision is equal to the sum of momentum after collision, provided that there is no external force acting on them. So if you observe the picture, you can easily understand. So if in the statement what they are given, the sum of momentum of two objects. So here I had here we have taken two balls with two masses, that is m1 and m2. For one ball, one m1 and the other ball m2, moving with initial velocity u1 and u2. Before collision it is happening. So when they are in collide, see here, during collision what is happening, m1 and m2 come nearer to them, but their velocity is in opposite direction, means force is in opposite direction. After collision what is happening, again they are comes to the first position only, because they are moving in the different velocities, v1 and v2. So here no external force is happening on them, means on the balls. Only the force which already they have, in that force only they have done. They are colliding and they are separating on. So it states that the sum of momentum of two objects before collision is equal to the sum of momentum after collision. Means how much of the force is applying before collision is equal to the same amount of force is applying after collision also. There is no change in the momentum. No external force is acting in that situation. Okay students, so this is the class of this session. So I hope you understand the class very well. Okay friends, now do the worksheet. I have given some questions to you so that you can answer these questions by listening the class. Okay. Total 12 questions are there. You can easily answer these questions by listening the class very carefully. Okay students. Okay, thank you. Thank you.